World of Warcraft, pro tip, had no story. World of Warcraft had no story outside of the world being the protagonist, little mini adventures and lore you could uncover, you could find in World of Warcraft vanilla, right? But there was no overarching story. Same with Burning Crusade. There was no real overarching story. It was just the tail end, the footnotes of what was left from Warcraft 3 story with Illidan, but there wasn't a huge ongoing overarching narrative, right? Wrath of the Lich King was the first time WoW had an actual story, and even then it wasn't unique to WoW. It was World of Warcraft's ending to Frozen Throne, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne. WoW was never meant to have a story like that. And in fact, one of Final Fantasy XIV's biggest downfalls is the fact that it's so story-focused, because if Final Fantasy XIV's story was a single-player game, it would have been done 10,000 times better. Stories like of that nature don't belong in MMORPGs. Like, look at Star Wars The Old Republic. It had an amazing story, but then the second you hit the actual MMO core components of the game at endgame, it was terrible. It was a shit game held back by an awful engine. The story was amazing. The story was great, but then after that was all over, it was dumb, and it's even dumber in an MMO because now you're standing around with a bunch of other characters that all did the same story you did or some slight variation, and they're all the lords of, like, the champions of Azeroth, or the warriors of light, or the Jedi that beat the Sith, or the Sith that crushed the Jedi. It's stupid shit. Dumb.